a business just with organic social media is a hard slog unless you become TikTok famous, but that's still not a real great marketing funnel for you to get a sales every day, which Meta can do, of course. Like Meta is still scalable, predictable sales every day, which is what you want to be doing to grow online. Then you want to put some money behind this content you are creating, especially if you spend so much time and energy creating great content and you get lots of it filled out on your social channels over the next 30 days, please go ahead and spend some money on some of that content and get it out further. Hey, welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 164. It's actually about a real life business conversation I had with somebody in real life. Because normally these conversations happen online. But I had a conversation, had coffee with a friend of mine from church who is growing a small e-commerce store. It's actually an arm of her business, which is a foundation. So she is the owner, the director of her foundation. And we were chatting about her e-commerce arm of that foundation. So it was like a real life business conversation. We caught up, which, it doesn't happen very often. You guys meet all online around Australia. So this was different and interesting to sit down for an hour and chat in person with somebody about their e-commerce store and where they're at and what their sort of struggles are in growing to the next level. So I wanted to share a bit about that conversation with you today, especially because I think part of it is really relevant for many of us, and especially if you are starting out and you're not getting consistent sales. I think this conversation is really relevant, and it was really around visibility. She recognized that was sort of what she wanted to chat with me about, was visibility. Like, nobody's seeing my stuff. Like I haven't got a lot going on socials, and there's not many people coming to the website, and not many people are checking out and buying things. So she sort of, at an academic level at least, understood that visibility was kind of her reason for reaching out, because she needed to know what to do next. Or if she had been doing things, to confirm to her that she was sort of doing the right thing. Sometimes that's all we need, hey, is to chat to somebody and know that we're actually not alone. This is quite normal, and what we are doing is usual and is probably the right path we're on. And then digging a little bit deeper into her sort of current struggle, or she really wants to push this side hustle forward. It's not her full-time paid gig yet by any means, but she's really keen to sort of throw her heart and soul into it and actually get it off the ground as a legit revenue driver for her foundation. So the very next question then, when we were chatting about visibility, about getting seen online, the competition out there, trying to be in people's news feeds, how do people come to my website, was, well, what do I post? I'm not even sure what I should post. She's like, does it feel like silly just to post what I'm doing and what I'm up to? It doesn't really feel relevant. Like, what do I post and how do I make it relevant? Do people even care? And so it was such a great conversation, because it's such a usual conversation. I think we come at this question like many times in our business journey. Growing an online store is like, what do I post? And then, does it really matter? Is it even relevant? Does anybody even care about it? That's what this podcast too, I struggle with topics and subject lines and then content of episodes sometimes. Is like, does anybody even really care about this topic? You just have to get it out there, honestly. And one of my favorite cliches in business is done is better than perfect. And what's the other one? The other one I love is perfection is the enemy of progress. Those two things I think about often. I just do it and get it out there and see what happens. So it was a really great conversation we had. And I thought this is going to be relevant it was relevant for me to have that chat. And I'm sure it'd be relevant to some of you guys listening as well, around like, what do I actually post? Okay, well, if you're telling me, Rachel, that social media is where I need to be and I need to be posting regularly on my pages, on all my social accounts, then what do I even post? And I feel like it's a bit of the worst idea ever. I hate to open Instagram or TikTok or Facebook and then just scroll looking for ideas. I love to save ideas when I come across them. I do that with my e-commerce store all the time. I see videos and I save them and send myself the link so I can sort of recreate a version of it for myself. But to start from that place, when you know you want to be, like, when you know you should create some content, okay, it's Thursday evening and I know I should create some content. I'll just sit and do a graphic or a photo in Canva because it's easier. You can do that sometimes, but sometimes you just need to get a video done. You either need to get in front of the camera yourself, or you need to set it up somewhere and capture some B-roll, some background. things that you are doing and use that with a voiceover or some text overlay or even just some audio. You need to just change it up a bit and try not to try not to just go for the really easy just to sit on Canva and create a graphic. That can be good. We should be doing images, but I really want to encourage you guys listening that video is where you really need to lean into. And I know it can be scary, and I know then it can be, what do I even say? How do I even start a video, and what do I say? So we talked about, when I was chatting with my friend, about some content pillars. And I went home and did a bit of research for her in her niche and about her business, and got her some content pillars that she can use as topics to create some content. Content pillars are really just buckets or categories. It's a fancy marketing term, but it really just means types of content or categories of content, buckets of content, so that you have different themes for what you put out there. And that's important for a few reasons. It's important, one, because it helps us just get it done. If you know that your content pillar for Thursday night is such and such, you don't need to reinvent the wheel and start thinking and brainstorming from scratch. Just go to that pillar that you've got for that day and create something around that one topic or that one category for your content. The other reason it's important is it obviously gives Meta, but also your social accounts in general, your emails, your blog posts, your website, a variety of content, which means it speaks to a variety of people or customer personas and can connect with different types of people, or connect with people at different stages of their journey with you. I love that with a content pillar strategy or idea, you can take one pillar, but that one pillar can then be angled to each different type of customer persona across their customer journey. For instance, with my e-commerce store, what did I do recently? I did a green screen with a photo in the background of a journaling layout that a customer created and sent me a photo of what she had made. So I was featuring her work in the video, and I just put myself in the front of it as a green screen and talked about the photo behind me of what she had made and some of the techniques that she'd used and what I loved about it. That piece of content I angled more towards top of funnel awareness of my brand, discovery type content, in the sense of I was talking about, if you're stuck for ideas of what to do in your next journaling layout, or if you look at a blank page with your journal and then you're not sure what to do and you feel a bit paralyzed, here's an idea, here's a tip, here's a technique. But I could do the same thing with that photo of a customer layout and angle it somewhere different to maybe more of a product consideration email. In other words, these are check out the cute papers that my customer has used in this beautiful layout she did. You can grab these papers here. Here's the link. Or even for a subscriber, even more heavy to bottom of funnel, loyalty driven, you can grab this kit every month too. Join us. We all create beautiful things every month. I can feature your work as well. You can see what other subscribers make. You can get some stickers and some papers and make some beautiful journaling layouts at home every month. It's a little mystery gift. It's a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get, but we all work on the same project. See how the same piece of content you set out to create, or I guess the same content pillar maybe that starts you off, can be angled in different ways depending on the type of customer or audience you are speaking to. And in that example, maybe that's not perfect because I'm talking about just the type of video I was doing and how I could talk about it in a different way. But I think you see what I'm saying. My point is, I guess we can get really paralyzed with the options. It's just, when there's so many things you can do, we tend to do nothing. I find if there's so many options, I can't do any. I can't pick. It's too many. I don't know where to start. So having some content pillars is a really great way to feel you've got a bit of a measure for success and a bit of a system to follow. And you're kind of just not chucking stuff out there to see what sticks, but you can just come at each day. Or my friend, she wasn't going to be creating content each day, but maybe once a week, and do all 5 of her pillars in one day and publish one of those pieces of content each day for 5 days from Monday to Friday. It gives you a plan. The other reason I love it, so the first one was that it sort of helps you just get off the ground and be organized and not have to decide what I'm going to do from day to day. The other reason why I think content pillars are really great is it's a variety of content and topics. So it speaks to a variety of different users or different customers. The other reason I like it is a bit similar to that one, is that it can show gaps as well. So if you look at maybe an Instagram account of somebody you follow or someone you like or a random brand, you may find they skew really heavy to all product featured and all salesy, or the opposite, or everything they share is behind the scenes and what we're doing, in our small business, and they never share what they actually make and what they're actually selling. I think having content pillars can help you just make sure that there are no gaps like that you're sort of covering the different topics you should be when you're looking to grow online. I recently did a bit of an audit of one of my clients' accounts with his Klaviyo account because his revenue per recipient has dropped this year compared to last year. So I wanted to check out why. We did a bit of a deep dive in Klaviyo as to why that is the case. And the reason is that a lot of the emails I have been putting together and sending to his Engage segment and the other segments I use were very community building, storytelling emails. So they had great open rates. His open rate is in the Klaviyo excellent range, but the revenue per recipient isn't in the excellent range. It's in, I think, fair, because lots of the emails I send aren't looking for someone to buy. I'm not saying, here's a product, please go buy it. So I'm mixed in community building emails into his mix, but I probably skewed too far that way and not enough on, here's some products, this is what we sell, please buy it. That's why I think as well, content pillars can be really handy. It helps you just make sure you're covering all the bases. And then you won't feel, I think, if you worry about this, you may not feel so bad when you go to put together an email too, a video or an image or a carousel about a product that you are selling and asking people to buy it. You may not feel so bad that you're being pushy or salesy when you have all these other content pillars as well that you are also including in what you do on your social media. It's not just salesy. So you may find it easier to do a salesy video when you know that the other 4 videos you're creating are not so salesy. There's so many reasons why I think having content pillars is a great idea. And I want to share with you the ones I actually created for my friend because they can be translated to so many other types of businesses. And this is something just to give you some ideas of some categories or content pillars. If you sit down and you're like, what do I even create? Okay, what do I post today? What do I post tomorrow? And every time you go to sit down to post something, you just feel like anxious and stressed and forget about it, move on and go watch something on TV instead. So this might help you just come at it and get it accomplished, like mark it off, get it done, get it sorted and, get it published. The first one I did for her was mission and awareness. So I said at the beginning that she is a director of a foundation. So this makes perfect sense. She has a social, responsibility or a social part of why her foundation even exists. Her e-commerce products support the mission of the foundation. So some content she should create, one of the pillars I gave her to create was mission and awareness. I said to her that this could be for her supporting people through difficult times, where she speaks a lot about, her, not authority, but you could translate to e-commerce maybe as authority in your niche. It really is the broader aspect of why you're doing what you're doing. So that was the first pillar I created for her. It's not about selling things, but showing people why the brand exists and what your sort of purpose is even about. Hey, what's the very next step in growing online for your e-commerce store? If you're on Shopify, if you have Klaviyo, if you have meta ads, or you need to leverage any of those platforms, I work on a project by project basis. So there's no crazy long retainer you need to worry about signing up for if you work with me one-on-one for just 1 month. I can get you some emails sorted. Let's get your segments built in Klaviyo properly. Improve your deliverability score. Let's get you some revenue. You can actually see the metrics, see the revenue coming through. In 2025, email marketing made up 22% of my total revenue across the year, which was actually an increase of 80% on the year before. So I'm in a great position to support you as a small e-commerce store owner. If you are brand new to e-commerce, maybe you want to be DIYing these solutions for yourself. You want to jump into ads and build some ads, some audiences, some targeting yourself, get your Advantage Plus shopping campaign set up and all your creative firing. Please do so and listen to all my previous podcast episodes. There's no gatekeeping here. You can take all the information you want. Everything I share is results I see in my own ad account and my clients' ads accounts as well. It's experience from what is happening now in e-commerce because yes, I am still an e-commerce store owner. I'm still in the trenches with you guys. Please find me at Aussie Online, growing on shopify.com.au. Book yourself a call. Let's chat. You won't regret it. And let's work together for a month and see where you want to go from there. Now, back to the episode. The next one, pillar 2, was her products, all about the products that she sells. But I suggested to her to frame it in a way of how it helps people, because again, this is products relating to a foundation she has set up. So products that help people to achieve what it is that she's setting out to achieve with raising awareness and growing the awareness of this foundation. So still products, yep, because she has products to sell. She needs the money to be able to run this foundation and to keep it running and doing the good work that it does. But every time she shares a product, it can still link back to the mission and awareness. So it's around why this product or this tool or this software, whatever, actually helps people. This one's really easy to overlay to e-commerce, hey, because often you hear people say with content and selling, if you frame it as why it actually helps somebody or why it's going to be good for them or why they'd really love it, then it feels easier to create the content, I think, or easier to talk about, but also you're probably going to get a better outcome as well. So she will probably get better sales by framing the videos that she does and the images and carousels in the sense of these are the products, but this is how they can help you. The third one was behind the scenes. This should be for all of us. We all should have this pillar behind the scenes. Everyone loves to see everyone. That's a bit black and white. I do. I'm sure many people listening do. You probably are one of them. Love to see behind the scenes content of creators online, especially if they're brands that we follow, and love to see what they're up to. I can think of one in particular who is massive online, and I'm sure you have heard of her, as Brittany Saunders from Fate. All the content, it's so interesting to see what she gets up to in growing a business in her day-to-day life. And she shares lots of really cool, fun behind-the-scenes content. This pillar is something we can all smash out and accomplish. It's really not difficult, and it's just capturing whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis. If you don't want to be like talking to the camera about things, just show what you're doing and the process of maybe what you're doing as well. So that one's easy. The purpose behind it is the human side and the human connection. Like in the world, hey, like around us where these big retailers are shrinking and shutting down. I can't even remember who it was I saw on the news recently. Another big retailer in Australia has shut its doors, a fairly like a well-known big brand. At the same time, two of my clients who have e-commerce stores, but they have a bricks and mortar as well. So their ads do both jobs. Their ads really drive online sales, but their ads also drive traffic into their store. They are both growing, and they've both grown significantly in the last year. And with my help, I know that they've both told me that they have been growing and they're really pleased with the results. So in that sense, like we are sort of in the world now of consumerism where we want to be connecting with the founders. We want to know where we're spending our dollars and feel like we know the brand and we know the founder. So I think if you have a small bricks and mortar store or you're a small service-based industry or business as well, then I think this can be really powerful for you, because it helps that connection with another human, and it helps that common marketing term, the know, like, trust factor. In the sea of online scams and are these businesses even real, and where are these products even coming from? Is this in Australia or not? You just don't know what's going on, and you see so much AI generated content ever. Is this even a real person? It's so refreshing and encouraging and actually really, really valuable to know that you're talking to and you're shopping with and you are seeing the real person behind the real brand. So I encourage all of you, every one of us should be doing behind the scenes content. The next pillar I gave her was quite specific for running a foundation, was impact in action. This is about the work that the foundation accomplishes. So not just about the mission of the foundation, but the things or the projects or the collaborations or the partnerships, the things that the foundation is involved in carrying out the mission of the foundation. So impact in action. This could probably be layered over to e-commerce in some sense, but it's maybe not quite as easy a line to draw. But I guess you could say maybe even the video I shared for my own e-commerce store where I was sharing something my customer had created, I'm like putting a spotlight on a customer and not me or the brand or the business, or, I'm not saying anything about how good I am as a business owner or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting myself forward. I'm putting a customer forward. Like, I'm pushing her to the front and giving her credit and kudos and cheering her on. So in that sense, I guess that's one way that maybe impact in action works for my e-commerce store, is when I share customers' creations and what customers have shared with me, and I share that with the online world. The last one is the journey. And this is maybe a little bit like behind the scenes, but it's quite specific for my friend because she is also writing a book that's about her experiences and why she set up her foundation to start with. So I wanted to give her an avenue for a pillar around that specific creative outlet and really big project and undertaking of writing a book. And that's when we were chatting and having coffee, this was the easiest one for me to come up with, because she talked a lot about that, because it was what she had been doing currently. She loved it. She was getting right into it. It was challenging for her, but really exciting as well. It was a big venture that she was undertaking in writing a book. So that sense, I thought that's an easy pillar. That can definitely be a pillar, because her question to me, which sort of comes back to what I was saying at the start, like, if you don't know what to post, like, yeah, okay, Rachel, but what do I post? When we were first chatting, she said, yeah, but what do I do? Just share the page I'm writing and share a draft, or show that I did a couple of pages today, or show that the cover's being designed? Is that all I'm going to post? Like, is that, I sort of now, like, is that it? I'm like, no, but that can be one pillar. That whole journey is one part of your story, and can be one like bucket of content, so that when you do come to Tuesday of the week, or whatever you decide to do for your content about writing a book, then yes, all of those ideas absolutely you can do, because then you also know you're not just one-sided. You are still covering all the other aspects of the types of content you should be creating to be visible online and to create authority and trust with your customers and grow your brand. You've got other topics as well that are already covered. In that sense, I was sort of just encouraging her that, yes, go create all the cool ideas you have around writing a book, and be okay with that. Not worry that it's too heavy that way. Like I said before, if you're worried that it's too salesy, then you've got other topics as well and other content pillars that you will be doing. So then when you do sit down to do the salesy content, you may find it easier knowing that your other pieces of content aren't going to be so salesy. So in wrapping up, I would encourage you to do this, even if you don't plan on spending any money on Meta ads in the near future. The reason is you should have a well filled out, populated, organic social media presence for all the reasons I just shared, so that when anybody does come to your website and then decide to check out your socials, because socials is a great way to validate if the business is legit or a scam, they will see current, regular, recent content and posts that are published. And it helps customers and potential customers feel like encouraged and reassured that you are a genuine business. So this is relevant for you, whether you plan on spending money on ads in the near future or not. But I, of course, would encourage you to do so, because growing a business just with organic social media is a hard slog, unless you become TikTok famous. But that's still not a real great marketing funnel for you to get a sales every day, which Meta can do, of course. Like, Meta is still scalable, predictable sales every day, which is what you want to be doing to grow online. Then you want to put some money behind this content you are creating, especially if you spend so much time and energy creating great content and you get lots of it filled out on your social channels over the next 30 days. Please go ahead and spend some money on some of that content and get it out further. Push it out wider. Find some of the content that did really well. And by really well, I generally mean got good reach. And then push that out with some dollars behind it. The products you share and talk about and sell may not get as much reach. They tend not to. That's usual. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be spending money on pushing out that content, though, because that's what you do. You sell things. You need Meta to find customers for you. That's what Meta does. Put this content sort of plan to action for yourself, put some pillars together, and then sit down and just create some. And please do video. I really strongly encourage you to do video, and then spend some money on ads if you're not already, especially after you've done this for a month and you'll have some confidence in what you're doing. It'll become maybe a bit more systematic. You may stop second guessing yourself after 30 days, and you'll just stop like procrastinating worrying about what do I post? Okay, Rachel, I should be posting on social media, but what do I even post? Because you have a plan, just execute the plan and then go back and invest some money, get Meta to find you, your customers, get that data into your Meta Pixel, into your Shopify account, and like get your brand out there. Visibility is where it's at. That's where most of us struggle. There is no build it and they will come. That doesn't exist. We need to get people to our website. And this is one of the pieces of that. So I encourage you to go and create some content pillars for yourself, especially if you sit down and you're like, I don't know what to post. What do I post today? You may find this exercise really helpful. And I hope this conversation I had with a friend about her business and looking to get her visibility like there, like actually get some visibility online is really encouraging for you. Thanks for hanging out with me today at Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. As always, keep learning.